I hope you aren't here about anything important. My schedule is completely full. I couldn't possibly squeeze you in before the mid-year Mud Crab Festival. A recommendation? I'll have you know that I don't just throw those together in a slapdash fashion. A recommendation must be researched and carefully considered. I can't be too cautious when it comes to endorsing new arrivals. Vindilween? Why didn't you say so? If you can acquire items of cultural significance from the newcomers, say something from a Khajiit, a Breton, and an Argonian, I might be persuaded to write a recommendation for Ambassador Riggott. As a matter of fact, I do. The Khajiit's name is Urjara. Exotic, don't you think? Henri Ondare is the Breton, and the Argonian calls herself Grayscale. Bring me something that belongs to them and reflects their cultures, and then we can talk.
Not now, friend. I haven't been able to secure work in this city, and I fear instead of opportunity, this land of high elves holds nothing but disappointment for newcomers such as me. Are you now? Well, I'm trying to find a job. Looks like we're both going to be disappointed. On the other hand, I do have this turtle clasp, crafted in the Breton style. I might be persuaded to give it to you, for the right price. It will indeed. Now, where did I put that? Oh, here it is. Take it and use it in good health, my friend. It was a pleasure doing business with you.
Don't merely be a visitor to Summerset. Help uphold its justice.
I'm not sure what I expected when I decided to journey to Summerset, but it sure wasn't this. No rest for the weary, and always more work to do. Really? Well, I didn't bring much with me, just my recipes. In fact, I just made a bowl of ojisaka for Races the Moons. He hasn't tasted it since he left Murkmire. Mentioned he had a craving. I was about to take it to him in that sack. Give you Races ojisaka? I don't think so. It's extremely difficult and time-consuming to make, and I promised that bowl to my...
Thief. Oh yes, I saw.
Does this one regret leaving elsewhere and making the journey to Summerset? No, for Joan and Jode watch over me and bless me with health and good fortune. How can Ordra help? This one brought a few heirlooms with her, whatever could be stuffed in my carry sack. Ordra has a Khajiit navigation stone, for example. Lets me find my... Convince Ordra. Let me think. No, no way at all. Does the Sapiarch? Why didn't you say it was for the Sapiarch? Of course, Ordra will let you have.
Griffin feathers of all things.
Courtier Vindilwyn was kind enough to tell me who she sent you to perform favors for. I've been sitting here drinking and having a most pleasant conversation with Sapiarch Tandemen. Were you able to... You did? That is most excellent, my good friend. But Rigert has an even better idea. We should also give the Sapiarch one of my gifts. Nothing says culture like a Nord keepsake. But which one do you think he would like best? Interesting. The Night Favor depicts a beloved Nord god. It is solid and will last forever. And it might help the Sapiarch if he ever finds a sweet onion. And by sweet onion, Rigard means a lover. A perfect choice! Friend Sapiarch, here are the cultural items you asked for, along with a gift from Rigard. A Nord Night Favor.
That's everything I wanted, plus an arousing example of Nord erotica. Thank you. Here is the official letter of recommendation you requested.
Was tired of walking anyway.
Milk drinker! Milk drinker! Is that
really a Nord insult? How benign. And what do you want? You need tickets, do you? Well, so does the Sapiarch of Shimmerine, the Navy's High Battle Reeve, and the Proxy Queen of Alinor. Do you know what I need? Ambassador Riggert? I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
Courtier Vendilwyn told me who she sent you to talk to, and Riggert always wanted to meet a famous high elf, Hildegrom. She's my favorite hero! I'm sure that one of my Nord gifts will inspire Enigma and help her find the voice of the Battle Maiden. But which one? Essence of Mammoth, of course! Not only will it make Enigma smell like a proper Nord battle maiden, it will also make her irresistible to bull mammoths. I don't know. If Enigma were performing a tragedy, I could see how the depressing stuffed goat could help, but the tale... Essence of Mammoth! Riggert has just the thing to make Enigma feel like a Nord. Essence of Mammoth.
What a powerful odor! It reminds me of mammoths charging across fields of ice and snow.
You smell like a proper Nord battle maiden now!
The stench! It makes me woozy, but also fills me with Nord bravado. How inspiring! Milk drinker! That's it! That's the voice! You've earned these tickets, Ambassador Riggert. Off we go!
Yeah!
You won't be so lucky.
Let's ride!
My, you look like you could use gold. Care to take a job of mine? Quite simple, really. An academic needs an escort through this. She wished to meet at a camp. Given the manner of the riffraff one sees on the road these days, I cut through the forest. It's a maze in there. I was hired to defend a respectable reef. On Daywin should have known better. An Ultima fights for glory, not coin. Crawling through the muck just to find some insignificant little temple?
Greetings, my friend. Fancy meeting you all the way out here. Say, hardly a surprise, given her demeanor last we spoke. Still, it's hard to get someone to agree to escort you into Ebon Stadmont. From what I heard, the forest appears to shift as you move through it. Makes it a bit tricky to navigate. Well, I found research of an ancient temple, somewhere in this very forest. I've come to study what secrets it may have, but I don't think it wise to go it alone. Say, would you be willing to escort me? I must say I do. Thank you for accepting my offer. I'm quite excited to be heading my own expedition. Tellinger may have a great mind, but sometimes he's a bit much. It's nice to finally be able to break free from being just his assistant. Oh no, of course not. The Mages Guild still requires me to accompany him on his expeditions. I've just taken a short sabbatical, is all. As soon as I finish my research... Well, being Tellinger's assistant is informative in many ways. But I think now's the time to prove to the Mages Guild, and to myself, that I can strike out on... The ruins within Ebon Stadmont are ancient. Perhaps even built in the Merethic era. They contain inscriptions of a mysterious language, which only a few have begun to translate. I believe these inscriptions... It's old, even for a High Elf's perspective. I found translations of only a few phrases, and even those are sparse. An interesting topic for a linguist, perhaps, but for me it's only the means to an end. As I said before, this forest is tricky to navigate. The pathway's twisted... Not much. Even though one can see the temple through the trees, the forest has made all research near impossible. It most likely was a place of worship, now abandoned. For some reason, the worshippers wished for the temple. The nature of this forest doesn't allow travelers to simply walk to the temple we seek. Someone must... We're looking for inscriptions. Alert me once you see any gibberish carved into stone. Yes, this is exactly what we're looking for. Why, it's almost as if I can hear the words. Sel Ra Ang Yond. Eastern Temple? Daedra? I don't have time for distractions. Could you hold them off while I finish translating?
inscription indicates that the temple is further up. Quick, follow me!
By Oriel! How did I end up here?
Well, seems the rumors are true. Ebon Stadmont truly does twist around you. Perhaps another inscription will help guide us. Aha! Now let's see. That voice again. Para Ekne. Past pathway? Daedra again? Ah, we don't have time for this. The temple should be just ahead.
Hurrah! Bonisto! The past revealed.
There you are! Quickly, up the stairs! Take care of that thing before it takes care of us!
The last of them? Oh, thank feck.
Thank the stars. I think he's coming too.
Am I really an Aetherius? I didn't know. We of the House of Reveries have no names, only masks. But you can call me Fletch, because I specialize in the art of the bow. Ebon Stadmont... I'm sorry, but I just don't remember. I must have come here with my traveling troupe, though. I wouldn't have left Relenthal without them. Is someone... Daedra? Mara's elbow, that doesn't sound good. Could you help me find my troop leader, Maestro Forte? I need to warn him. Forte! Is that you?
Fletch!
What's happened? The whole troop is looking for you.
Grand Maestro Forte? Why, I had no idea you were in Ebon Stadmont.
Grand? Oh no, I'm simply Maestro Forte. Hardly worthy of the title Grand yet. It appears you've saved Fletch from the brink of death. It brings to mind the story of Temerian, who of course was saved by the Nereids of... but now is not the... Daedra? I had no idea. Our watch did report some strange creatures prowling about at night, but I've heard of no other attack. The only thing of note I discovered within the temple is a glowing stone in its main chamber. I've yet to translate the stone's inscription, but it may be Excellent. Why don't you and your companion head to the stone? Just follow the path north. I'll escort Fletch to our camp and make sure he's seen to. We'll meet back here afterward and share our findings.
I know this is strange, but let's get to this stone. Perhaps it can answer some questions. The House of Reveries in Ebon Stadmont? Why wouldn't I have heard about that?
Still here. Thanks for asking.
Lenka, fall away. Future's door.
Did you hear it too? That woman's voice. At first I thought I was imagining it. Future's door. Drat. Well, I've realized where we are. A House of Reveries expedition I've never heard of. Grand Maestro Forte rebuffing his proper title. And the temple room where we found Fletch? It looked the same as the room we first entered, but there wasn't a cobweb or broken pew in sight. It means we ventured somewhere we never should have gone. The past. I know it seems far-fetched, but remember that stone we first activated? I thought the inscription referenced an event, but the past... That's my theory, and I'd rather not explore further to find out. Affecting the past has far-reaching consequences. It makes me wonder what trouble we've already caused. But this stone's inscription indicates it. I can't be sure in all honesty, but we have to try. This stone should lead us back to our natural time. All you need to do is keep that destination clearly in your mind. I'll follow right behind you. It is quite intriguing. Grand Maestro Forte is the head of Summerset's greatest acting troupe, the House of Reveries. But I've also heard tale that he's a great academic as well. Though perhaps The research I've been using to help translate the language here came from an expedition that occurred around this time. Perhaps Maestro Forte wrote the very notes that led me here. I'll ask him. Well, Fletch was very close to death, and I recall seeing bones in our present time, right where I found him injured. Most likely he was supposed to die. I'm almost glad I was so ignorant when I healed him. I don't know what I would have done. As I said earlier, changing the past has far-reaching consequences. For all I know, healing Fletch could have dire consequences to our present. I would have had to weigh his life against the potential impact of that change. Quite a somber thought. I've been hearing this voice since I first started translating these inscriptions. It must be some sort of Oh, it is rather odd for a mysterious language to speak to anyone who reads it. The misdirecting nature of Ebon Stadmont must have kept researchers from studying. I'm not sure what to tell you. I do know that we have to return to our time, and quickly. This mysterious voice...
Who's there? By Xerxes. It's you. Years and years, and I never could find you. And here you are, back where it all began. Looking as if you haven't aged a day. My friend, what happened to you? So the stone did send you to the future after all. I had feared the worst. That day I tried to follow after you and return to our original time. But the stone's magic faded, and the doorway closed. Try as I might, I couldn't get it to open. I was trapped within Stadmont. For decades, I'd been studying this language and desperately searching for a way out. But my path would always lead me back here. But I did it. I finally found a way to go back, to stop this all from happening. I must stop myself from ever going back in time. I've been wasting my life within this cursed forest. The Southern Stone. That's the key to... Wait, what's that? Is that Fletch? Fletch! Ah!
I'm sorry, dear, but your role has been...
The temple. You must go back. Go through the temple. The Southern Stone. Bane away Tendel. Those are the words. Stop this from happening. Take my diary. It will prove everything.
Time for the grand finale of our little production. And thus the play continues. I'll see you soon.
Such an effort to escape me. I suppose I have what I need.
Well, I suppose it's curtain call. You finally figured it out. Well, and Derwin figured it out, didn't she? But hey, you put all the legwork in. And here you are, just in time to stop our leading lady from ever performing her starring role. Ah, but did you kill me? Truly? Not even an accomplished healer could bring me back? And yes, I did take part in Derwin's final scene. Or rather, I will. All a matter of perspective there, you see. But she shouldn't have tried to cut the act short. Derwin was the leading lady of our production. It was up to her to uncover the mysteries of Stadmont, to find the true potential of its hidden power. But she found a way to escape, and in her last breath told you the way back to the start. Sadly, yes, and so my part must end as well. I put on quite the performance, though, don't you think? The poor, confused soul, the dastardly villain, the mysterious sage. But I think you have a task to do, don't you? A dying wish to fulfill? Yes, our heroine should be just outside, if I remember correctly. After so many times around, though, I tend to lose track. Well, no need to get into all of that. I told you the very first time we met, I'm Fletch. I used to be a mere actor, but now I serve a greater force. I've served her for quite a while now, helping to find the true power of Eben Stadmont. With Anderwin's help, of course. What did Anderwin call her? Ah, the Spirit of the Sanctum. An appropriate title as any. She rules over this forest. I think she always has, though I'm not quite sure. She needed the power here, you see. Eben Stadmont was integral to her plans. Don't bother asking me, mostly because I have no idea. I would have died had the spirit not saved me, and it wasn't too bad. A supporting role at best. I'd make sure the loop continued, make sure Anderwin kept researching again. Oh, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I barely understand, and I've lived through it. And it's done now, in any case. You made sure of that. But I think the spirit learned enough. It will have to do. The language here, of course. You see, it's all rather tricky. Only mortals are able to use the language. That's what allowed you to travel through time after all. And Anderwin was the perfect candidate to uncover its secrets. Yes, all our heroine needed was the proper motivation. Anderwin was trapped within the forest, unable to get out. Then she would hear a whisper. Guiding, always guiding, and as Anderwin used the language, my mistress would be watching. What did Anderwin...
There you are. We finally made it to the temple. Oh, I just can't wait to see what secrets are inside. The temple is a trap? What do you mean? A book? Why, this is my handwriting. I've been trapped within this forest for decades now. Trapped within the past. My face is filled with wrinkles. My heart darkened with regrets. My life was... stolen from me. Something trying to... My goodness. This is all so hard to wrap my head around. Yes, I agree. You've gone above and beyond protecting me during this expedition. Though the details seem a bit complicated, to think I would have been trapped here, I'd say our contract is concluded. Thank you for all you've done. I suppose I did succeed in this expedition. The notes you've given me are written by my hand after all. Though, of course, that me won't exist now since you've stopped me and I'm going to stop now. Before my head hurts. I'm sure these notes will give me more details. The best thing to do now is share our findings with the Mages Guild. Let them know how dangerous this forest truly is. You know, it may be silly, but I suppose I came here to step out of his shadow. If I could be the one to crack Eben Stadmont, well, perhaps that would be enough. And then I was trapped in the past to serve a mysterious being. Tellinger is the one who makes brash decisions and puts us all in danger, and I'm the one who helps fix it. Yet as soon as I lead, I find myself in the same position as him.
Off we go!
Well, it is a lovely view. Not too much strange
I don't suppose we have anything to cook.
I suppose I did succeed in this expedition.
Eben Stadmont may not exactly be bustling with business, but there's a fair amount of traffic along the outskirts of these woods.
Hail, mighty warrior! Hail, weary traveler! Seek ye the torchlit halls of Sovngarde? You will not find them here, alas! Naught but puny elves and snow-backed wizards dwell in this place. I am bound for the Whalebone Bridge, and soon's mighty challenge. Join me! Confused? Bah! You sound like that scrawny mage Erudil. My course is plain. I must make my way to the dwelling place of my honored ancestors, to bathe my beard in mead and sing the shield. You would have words with that thin-legged sorcerer? Fine! You will find him in the courtyard of the gaudy elf hall up the hill. Now, if you'll excuse...
like that. Let's ride! Yeah. Yeah.
What are you doing? Stop this nonsense right now. Unbelievable. Eye of Magnus, another one. That's a very convincing costume. What are you supposed to be? Some gallant hero? Trinimac in disguise? Wait, you're not one of my classmates. You really are a hero, aren't you? Thank Auriel. I need your help. I may have unleashed a powerful enchantment on the Academy. Quite by accident, mind you. There's this book, you see, the Illuminous. I stole just the briefest of peeks. Barely It drove my classmates mad. They were all quite sane before, but now they seem possessed by characters from novels and storybooks. They're snorting like pigs, running from cats. It's lunacy. I have some ideas on how to fix this, but when I opened the book, The Illuminous, there was a great flash of light and a low growl. Or maybe a yawn. Like some great beast just woke from a deep sleep. Originally, it was full of... I set it down over there. You see? It's empty. It's as if the words just scampered off the page. I thought maybe the enchantment rendered the words invisible, so I tried to recover them. I used gazing lenses, Welkind revelation stones, even a bit of lemon juice. Nothing. I'm not sure. I certainly hope not. The words could be dancing around in oblivion for all I know. We should focus on the enchantment itself. If we manage to loosen its grip on some of my friends, they might be able to provide some clues.
Erudiel? Oh, what are you still doing here?
Glardier, where in Tamriel have you been?
I told you before, Glardier's gone. Look, you're so plain, Erudiel. So boring.
Well, there's no need for that. I know she doesn't seem the part, but Glardier's my best friend. She was with me when I opened the Illuminous, and now she's... Right. Sorry. As far as I can tell, everyone thinks they're a character from some book or another. If we can figure out what persona they've taken on, maybe it's a start. You can't expect me to know everything. It's only my 14th year, for Mara's sake. I'll start with Glardier, though I must admit... I think I saw Pavo over by the east wall. He was scrounging around on the ground. Tanelwyn was in the lecture garden. Looked like she was interrogating someone. And I heard Selinia yelling from up on the wall. Make sure she doesn't slip. Would you believe idle curiosity? No? Fine. I bought the, Library of Shrieking Terror. Borrowed? I was going to put it back. Honestly, I don't even know why we have a Library of Shrieking Terror. This is a school, for Ariel's sake. I just wanted to impress Glardier. I thought, where do you think? Fumbling around like the rest of my classmates. I ran straight to the headmaster when I realized what had happened. But when I got there, I found him standing on his desk, swinging. I've been asking myself the same thing. Truthfully, I'm totally unremarkable. Everyone says so. I can't imagine that I have some special quality that... I suppose it's possible. My mother always said I was special. I've always been very good with jigsaw puzzles. Paper folding, too. You're right. I was silly to have entertained the idea in the first place. Jigsaw puzzles. Honestly. Yes, of course. Goodness, we've barely even had a chance to speak about it. This is the Illumination Academy, a home for verse, prose, and near-forgotten songs. Our libraries contain all the tales of Summerset. We're caretakers. Don't be crude. We don't just organize the tales. We study and transcribe them, breathing new life into old stories, songs, plays, novels. We cherish them all. Of course, my classmates are cherishing them a little too much right now. I focus on lesser-known works, plays mostly. The works of Toldinderel, for instance. They're pretty dense, lots of hidden narrative, rich subtext, you know. People tend to avoid Toldinderel's work. They think it's... I was going to say dry, but yes, boring. They don't know what they're missing. Tales of adventure...
Onward, sailors! What treasures await us?
One of you is the thief. I'll crack this case yet. Careful there, friend. There's a thief about. One of these two scamps is the criminal mastermind behind a half-baked plot to steal a pie. My pie, in fact. Cut down in its crispy, gooey prime while my back was turned. Oh, goodness, no! Sure, you recognize the most clever and curvaceous investigator in Tamriel. Clearly you need to read up on my escapades. Some clever writers committed a few to paper. Should be a copy around.
Avast! Why do you pester me like this, nosy wench? I know...
So, finished reading about my... Yes, Investigator Vale at your service. Have a puzzling... What? Of course I am, silly. I know this seems like an unsolvable crime to the average citizen. Proof? Why, of course I have proof. I just want these two to wriggle on the hook a bit longer.
Avast! Why do you... That slippery Breton must have taken it. Believe me, I know a thief when I see one, and that little twerp is guilty as they come. Must be mighty quick, though. I barely took me eyes off the rascal, and these eyes are as sharp as fish hooks, see? No! Not possible! Investigator Vale said one of us is guilty, and it weren't me! She's clever as a one-eyed... I saw a flash of brown fur out of the corner of me eye, quick as a dolphin in the wake. It was heading towards the hedgerow, I think. You don't think the Breton's a werewolf, do you?
You lay yet more burdens on an already burdened brow? I stole no pies. Now off with you before I cast you into the dungeon. Pie? I can't trouble myself with such trifling matters. I have a kingdom to look after, and a churlish child to wrangle. I stole no pies. It was clearly the pirate over there. I have no idea how. I never saw the scoundrel leave. What? You want me to believe that Investigator Vale got this wrong? Ha! Preposterous! The pirates to blame. Yes? Look, they're everywhere. Leading off into the bushes, it seems.
Ah, you've arrived just in time to see me expose the... It's quite clear that the guilty party is none other than that pirate there. The picaroon's testimony, while colourful, included the flavour of the pie, a fact that only someone who tasted it would know. Another puzzle... A dog? Of course. The fur, the crumbs... How could I have missed it? It was so obvious. No, this isn't right. This isn't how the story goes. Yes, I remember now. That damned book, The Illuminous. It's to blame, isn't it? I'll go check on Arudiel now. Auriel knows he'll need the help. Thank you, my friend. Let's see if Arudiel has found a solution yet.
Does that mean we aren't in trouble?
I don't know. But now I'm hungry.
Attention! Class is now in session.
There you are. I was examining the book again, trying to see if... I know! So my plan works. I knew it would. Well, maybe not knew.
So you distracted one of my performers, eh? A bit of Of course not. You've already mucked up one of the plays.
Glardia's persona seems tied to the Illuminous in a more explicit way than the others, but I still haven't... Freeing my friends is clearly angering whatever force is driving this. If the Illuminous grows angry enough, maybe the force behind it will reveal itself. How's that? Have you found Selenia yet? Check the Academy walls. I thought I saw her up there. It's ironic. She normally hates heights.
Please. Pity is my crown.
Selling, buying, trading, right here.
Oh, come on! Jump! It's fun! I want to see if you bounce!
I am. I'll show you. Right. I'm not afraid. Hello. Come to join in my adventures? Or maybe you mean to scold me like the mean old workers. I hope not. He's my best friend. Just over there, see? He always has the funniest ideas, but sometimes he says things that crinkle my carapace. Still, he's always good for an adventure. A game! A guessing game! Yes! Here are some hints. I have 8 spindly legs, cute little mandibles, and a thirst for adventure. Stumped? Ha! There's a book that might give you a clue. So, yes, you got it! I am the most fearless... Not a thing! Not even those big hairy spiders in the garden. Definitely not those. Okay,
Oh,
I've
not
got
you
this.
again!
And go! Is that a spider? Ah! No! Get it away from me! Oh, disgusting creatures!
Wait, where are you... Oh, you ruined it!
I've got what you need. Buying, selling, trading.
It was just a spider. This isn't right. I'm brave. I'm brave and fearless and... What happened to me? Where am I? Mara, help me. Were we up on the walls? A Rudil? It was that damned book, wasn't it? The Illuminus? I told him to leave that thing be. Just had to put on a show for Gladir, didn't he? Ugh. Can we continue this closer to the ground? I still feel dizzy. You mean he's still fiddling with it? Sans price. We'd best get down there and make sure he doesn't do something foolish.
Wasn't always a beggar.
Selinia! She's back to normal. Oh, of course. Selinia hates those little scamps. I think so. These new...
All right, that's enough! You were amusing at first. No! You don't get to barge in, heckle the performers, then ask questions!
You see? The Illuminous changed again. I don't know about you. Yes, I think Pavo is still in the grip of this... whatever this is.
Please, won't you help a poor... Please, my lady. Spare... Oh, but I am wretched. Don't you see my filthy fingernails? My oozing sores? I am a victim. I haven't the heart to speak it aloud. Some cruel scribe committed my woes. Have you come for another look at nameless Weedle? A name that breaks even the hardest hearts. Most people don't know such generosity. Have you come for another Weedle? A name that What? No, you can't do that. No mortal can see my wretched state and... Oh, great Namira, sweet prince of decay. I thought... Oh, thank you. Undo what has been done, I beg you! Yes, I feel not much different, actually. What is going on? This is confusing. That was it? No, you must be wrong. Look! I'm covered in rags and sores. Just look at me. Look. Erudiel. Yes, I remember. My frumpy...
There you are. Glad. Every time you bring some...
You! Oh... Enough of this! You! Oh, I've had just about enough of you. Oh, such pride, such braggadocio! You would have made a splendid character in my story, if not for your bull-headed meddling. My name is unimportant. Yes, and it would have been a far better tale without you in it. Any of you, in fact. You don't deserve this book. It's mine!
Glardir, wait! She vanished. Well, that is... suboptimal. She must be talking about the stacks below the Hall of Illumination.
What is that approaching? Some strange sea beast. Prepare to be boarded, mates.
Oh, now what is all this mess? Oh my, a roguish adventure. Well, a shapely woman came prancing through. Tousled hair, firm buttocks, and oh, the bosoms. Anyway, the book sprung to life behind her. Oh, I've got plenty of ideas. Oh, wait, You mean to banish them? I'm such a silly thing. The creatures seem bound to their books. If you close a book and slide it back onto the shelf, that instinct, raw, untamed instinct. If that fails, I suppose you could check the shelves. Maybe some outwardly prudish but secretly lustful archivist labeled them. Just be sure to put the books on the right shelf. These
it!
become agreeable.
Oh, stop interrupting! Then came a bellow and a blast of chill wind. The hero's fate was sealed. You just won't stop, will you? No more! Get out of my head!
Just like the rest. I'll finish this hero myself.
I can't. Is it gone? I'm free. Finally. Wait. Where am I? Yes, I remember now. The creature. It's called the Illuminated One. It feeds on storm. It's grown powerful enough to manifest as a material being. It makes it more dangerous. But it also gives us an opportunity to fight it.
Face me, you talentless hack. Your story. You can't do this! My masterpiece!
All my classmates and professors are finally coming to their senses. Whatever you did appears to have worked. Did you really defeat this creature? The Illuminated One? Thank the divines! You know, Gladir finally solved the mystery of why I was spared. The Illuminated One thought I was too boring. Imagine that. I guess it pays to be dull sometimes, and to have strong allies like you. Take care, Caraval.
I think I figured a way out of this.
Come on, you filthy... You're the first thing I've encountered that isn't a slavering beast or drooling savage. Begs the question, what you're doing out here. Did that idiot Medze send you? The fool I followed out here. I lost track of him after these wretched goblins stole my pack. Hopefully he can manage not to get himself killed long enough for me to recover our notes. Their research for Medze's recital at the Illumination Academy. I've been transcribing them for weeks. The goblins tossed them all over. Not big readers, I guess. But this tribe is bigger than I thought. What are you? Some sort of saint sent to deliver me from digging through Maluk's squalor? Well, 2 searchers are better than 1. We'll meet near the eastern exit of the Coral Splitter Caves, not too far from safety. Watch yourself. I could, but I don't know why you'd want to know. You're doing me a favor, so go on and ask. Officially, scribe. Unofficially, nanny. The man's got all the good sense of a swaddled babe. I've had the thankless task of saving him from himself ever since we arrived from Sentinel. Some epic about the great battles between the High Elves and the Goblins that Medze plans to perform at the Illumination Academy. I'll admit, it sounded much more intriguing before I had to listen to Medze ramble on about it for weeks. It's either find these notes or start from scratch, and if you just spent the past few weeks fumbling through these crags with Medze, you wouldn't be asking me that. found something interesting? That was a bit of a warm-up. Getting good at this. Oh, I probably shouldn't be proud of that. The buoyant armigers.
They're coming for us.
I don't know how much longer. That's the last of them. I'm not going to give you some my savior routine, but thanks. This is not how I plan to die. Do me one last favor. It's a small one. Look, I've had enough of Medse. The humming, the whistling, the constant attempts at rhyming. I'm not completely heartless. That's everything I cataloged on this misbegotten adventure. With it, he can finish his research.
Naliara, stay strong. Your salvation is at hand. Though, if you could call out, that would be helpful.
He's coming. I'm gone.
I finally girded myself with the courage of my forefathers.
Naliara, quit? Oh, I suppose I cannot falter. Oh, well, that's great. I nearly have everything I need to complete my epic of the war fought between the goblins and high elves here. I mean, I just assumed since Naliara entrusted you with her notes, you were taking over her duties. You don't... The site is close. I just know it. Dramatic instinct. You must not frequent Daggerfall, friend. I am Medze the Maestro, king of singers. All the stories of Summerset describe it as an idyllic place of wonder and beauty. I'll admit, yes, but I didn't expect there to be live goblins. All the histories I've read say they were thoroughly vanquished. Well, there's a story there. You see, in light of the Queen's decree, the Illumination Academy has been inviting guest performers from all across town. I was getting to that. The subject of my recital is a fresh epic of their ancient conflict with the goblins of these...
I don't want to hurt you, but now I'm going to.
The answers must lie in these ruins. Oh, Naliara, if only you'd waited. Hurry, let us claim the prize. Some kind of trade ledger? Oh, how mundane. It seems like the elves who built this place engaged in deals with... goblins. That can't be right, can it? This looks like scouting reports. Land surveys, goblin settlements. Why was the water source of such interest to them? These look like plans for resettlement. Elven and goblin. They were... Oh gods, this is terrible! These tablets show the goblins weren't always viciously territorial. Elves and goblins coexisted, traded, until the elves wanted King's Haven Pass badly enough to betray that trust. It flies in the face of I sought a subject for heroic composition. There is no truthful recounting of this history that would flatter the elves. Sing the truth, and my patrons will loathe me. Sing a lie, and my art... It's what a noble hero would do, isn't it? Self-sacrifice for the sake of the downtrodden is practically obligatory. If I don't make it back to Daggerfall, carry on my tale. You've been an able guide to heroism, keeping me on the righteous road in the face of adversity. When I sing of the divine messenger who sent me on this path, know that it's your praises I sing. The time has come for me to unsheath the quill of justice and cut an inky swath through centuries of lies. And probably book passage back to Daggerfall well in advance. Even if I'm not bludgeoned off stage by thick volumes, I'm told the divine prosecution is very particular about the verbiage used to present the truth. I'd prefer to receive their critiques by mail.
Feeling...
Turn back to where you came, stranger, unless you want to vanish like the rest. Many of my friends have gone missing near these ruins. Rulia still holds out hope that they will return, but I am leaving this place. He and a few of the others have staked out a camp up on the ridge. He is foolish.
Quiet! Someone approaches. Is it Connor? I can't sense him.
Sorry, stranger. My friend can't see too well anymore. She mistook you for someone. More than a few of us have disappeared recently. Kanhar's group are just the latest. They set out to search for the missing and vanished themselves. They've stood quiet for decades, but now, new yawning sinkholes, eerie sounds at night. I don't jump at shadows. You're a kind soul. Be careful. We've lost a lot of kind souls of late. That pushy noble, Fidor, might know something about that. He arrived not long ago, claiming to own the place. Certainly, he was friendly enough with his questions about this land, the manor, and so on. Eventually, he tried to convince us to show him around and started getting pushy when we refused, pressuring us to... He happened along after our people started vanishing, and he's got reason to want us gone. Raises an eyebrow, yeah? All I'm suggesting is maybe it's time someone started pressuring him for details. It's quiet and usually free of nosy locals shooing us away, too scared of the curse. There are a lot of... The details vary, but they all revolve around the town being wiped out and swallowed by the sea. The sort of divine wrath stories that... Nowhere else to go. The wastes, as they call them,
have been a safe haven for the outcast and unwelcome for a long time. We kept to ourselves, never invited trouble. It showed up anyway. Not much. The land just opens up like a yawning mouth without warning and swallows...
For a place with such a terrible reputation, this estate certainly gets a lot of trespassers. You're not another layabout squat. I didn't expect to find anyone living out here. I thought they could help me shed some light on the mysteries of this place. But it turns out they're just idle squatters. This place barely exists outside of fables. My family kept no records of it, or our relatives here, other than our claim to the land. It took years of digging to locate these old ruins, and there's still so much more to uncover. So those vagrants say. For all I know, they're just trying to frighten me off. Their missing friends could be looting as we speak. I'm not leaving until I've searched the ruins myself. I don't mind having some company in this endeavor. Most people are barely willing to speak of this place above a whisper, let alone offer any help. Let's try to find a way in. I asked them to leave when it became clear they were up to no good. If they're trying to blame me for their friends running off, or what have you, that is utter slander. I'm not. I swear I'm as in the dark about these missing persons as you are. The only reason I haven't been to the ruins myself is because I'm not sure how dangerous things really are, and no one was willing to help me. They're outcasts, most likely criminals. My concern isn't so much about why they're here, as to what they may be doing to my family holdings. My kin feel I'm wasting my life on a footnote. My parents even threatened to disown me if I continued my search, but that only spurred me on. I want to know why this branch... Lineage is everything in Ultima society. The Queen alone could fill a library with her genealogy. We should have preserved everything we could about this place, but instead, nothing. I must know why this place was buried, figuratively and literally. They're outcasts.
Nice hole.
This breach looks promising. Take a look. Not exactly cozy, but it's not completely demolished. Let's poke around. Can't say I care for the naturalized aesthetic. Keep your eyes out for anything that may have survived the elements. Some answers. What happened to my family here? This place is fascinating. And I suppose I'm curious about the rumors. As long as I don't get murdered by vagrants in a dank cave, I'll just stick with you if you don't mind. Something about that statue catch your interest? Even in such disrepair, I can imagine how opulent this manor must have been. My relatives must have been very influential here. The whole town. That's incredible. My family has wealth and holdings, but not much in the way of titles. Why in the world would they show so little interest in our ties to nobility? That's a sound theory. Simple, but sound. There has to be something here that could reveal the truth of the matter. Damn. These papers are practically mulch. Maybe something survived. Help me look. I wonder whose chambers these were. What was their life like before they... May I have a look? Merciful Sirabane! This sounds like the Thracian Plague. A gruesome disease that decimated the population of Tamriel, Summerset included. It made the Nahatan flu seem like the sniffles. Everyone here could have been wiped out. Still, most people alive had family afflicted by the plague. Why hide it? No, it was a vile creation of the Slode, brewed in their kingdom of Thras. But it's possible it harbored the first outbreak on Summerset. That can't be the reason this place was buried. I'm finding more questions than answers. There has to be more. There has to be. Try the room across the hall. For thousands of years? Doubtful. I can see how this place may have gotten its reputation with the locals, but their fears are still unfounded. Down here! I found something! I thought I heard something down here, but the sound must have carried up from this tunnel. It looks formed by erosion. Maybe related to the sinkholes? Makes sense. The journal mentioned taking the afflicted to the family vaults. It would have been easy for the Korgrads to seal off their estate and leave the town to fend for itself. It's tragic that their compassion probably led to their downfall. Murmurs and splashing. I thought maybe one of those missing... This camp looks recent. I'll bet your missing persons just discovered that these ruins make decent shelter. I have a bad feeling about the fate of... I don't think that was one of your vagrant friends. Somehow I doubt they received a warmer reception than we did. But at least we know the curse of Korgrad has been greatly exaggerated. Whoever we saw just now was a being of flesh and blood. Agreed. Much as I'd like to get to the bottom of all this, we should make finding the squatters our priority.
Voices! They are Rillas, Abamel Shota.
I heard it again. Be careful. Gone.
Is that the last
Look,
of them?
people. Let's approach with caution.
Please approach. We know you are here. There we are. Much better, yes. Manners are easily forgotten when you're so far removed from society. Forgive the... Call me Arilas. I am caretaker of this place. We all are. We led our lives in quiet, contented seclusion until the crumbling stone... How long? How long indeed? I think there was a time when... To the saviors... It is because of their sacrifice that Korgrad lives on. We repay the lives they gave us by caring for the town in their stead. We're very protective of it. I see, I see. Our humble town would be treacherous to those who have not grown accustomed to its many twists and turns. I would not follow after them, lest you possess the Savior's compassion and determination. The last people from above we observed followed a narrow passage to the north. May you be
Go on without me. I'm going to speak with Arillis about my ancestors. I'd like to spend some time with Arillis. If these people really are You heard, Arillis. It's dangerous deeper down. I'm no warrior, but take a look at them. They're positively sickly. I doubt they want any trouble. More to the point, I think their saviors might have been my ancient ancestors. They may be more trusting of me than other outsiders.
This is the day we've waited for so long. They took the sickness from us, from our ancestors, at great cost to themselves. All of Korgrad would have perished, if not for them. They preserved us from the sickness of the sea. For that, we follow the Savior's guidance. It was their wisdom that brought us here and kept us safe for generations. Though buried, Korgrad lives through a narrow passage to the north. Worry not for your companion while...
These saviors you mentioned, did they happen to be members of the family?
Oh yes, the founders and protectors of this great realm. Does the surface still speak of their great sacrifice?
In a manner of speaking. I came here to learn more about this branch of my family.
It must be fate. Korgrad opened its doors so that you could enter. Oh, I have so much to show you. Here. This is Nempharian, the eldest and wisest of the ancestors resting here. Yes, I can see the likeness.
What are you? Let go! Let go! Where are you taking me? You don't have to do this! Please! Is that a tomb? Don't put me in there! Please! No!
Save us from these monsters! Get us out of here! Bloodletting, I think. These cave vermin poke and prod us whenever Arillis needs something to offer his saviors. To what end? I don't know. Maybe they're vampires. Or would it? Poor bastard. Never seen these vermin in such a frenzy. They dragged him screaming through those doors there and sealed them shut right after. Small. When Arillis isn't bleeding us, and tending to his saviors beyond those doors. He spends most of his time with whatever unholiness goes on in the tombs below. His keys may be there. Hurry and set us...
What would you like to...
"10,000 venerations to you."
Bless you. I can walk. We aren't free yet. We have to get out of here before... Your friend's dead. If these saviors really are vampires, what chance do we have against them? I suppose if there's any chance, we have to try. Nobody deserves a death like this. I just hope you're right, or we'll all find out.
Welcome to Korgrad, visitor. Such as it is. Forgive our lacking hospitality. Come, speak. I have not had civil company in some time. You arrive upon a momentous reunion of our filial blood, the day bestowing on him the Korgrad legacy. He is taking the first step upon the long road to restoring this house. It will be a demand his vitality. It will take all he has to offer to restore each of us. But if he is up to the task, he will reap a precious... On the contrary, he will taste immortality, as we have. But only for scant centuries, not millennia. In a few generations, our bloodline will be renewed and possess the purity needed to restore Faidur. The embalming process has already begun. When the stone is finished, we will be restored, and he will be a savior. I regret that Faidur must suffer, but his pain will be a small fraction of the sacrifice required to save Korgrad from annihilation. We are Altmer, even in this desiccated state, cleansed of our poisoned humors to be free of the great sickness from the sea. Now that you see the cure, imagine the disease. Thras, I had always suspected as much. The sickness bore an intent as if designed to spread misery and cruelty. To hear the Slode were involved comes as no surprise to me. It was ever present, ever penetrating. It seeped into every person, every creature, every drop of water, seeking to be quenched. The afflicted dragged themselves to corpulence with each passing day, until their bones cracked under their bulging flesh. We spare them the ravages of the terrible sickness that spread through Korgrad. In exchange, they care for us in this invalid state. So we have endured. So Korgrad has endured. To be free of the disease is to be free of all humors. They offer us their tainted blood to sustain our fragile grip on life, and through sorcery, the sickness is purged. Together we flee its horrors. But there was no true escape, until now. Because he is kin. Most would not debase their bodies with the blood of men, but I am beyond such concerns. The blood Arillas offered us from the outsiders was free of disease, but unsustainable nonetheless. Faidur will be different. My vain attempt to stop the sickness from spreading beyond our borders. The people rebelled against their confinement and nearly broke the quarantine. I was forced to destroy the sea walls and flood the town. To spare them and others from the gruesome death that was sure to come, or so I hoped. From that day forward, our only concerns were for our kingdom below.
For what reason do you barge into our home, as if you have the right to trespass our lands as you please? You may believe our condition diminishes us. The other trespassers, they intrude as you do without our sanction. Aurelius ends their vagrancy and sees that they are put to use. The return of our pure-blooded kin means our long dormancy is nearing an end. We will soon be able to return to the world above and begin the long process of restoring Korgrad to its former glory. The sickness has robbed us of fruitful lands, so our servants have been reduced to eking out a savage, meager subsistence in this lightless domain. They have few interests beyond survival, and fewer interests still for continuing their own lines. It is not your right to question us. We are the law of this land, and we will be obeyed. Their crimes are minor, as is their punishment. They will have their freedom soon, unless they continue to defy us.
Soon this misery will finally be at an end. Too long. There is little to occupy the time. The monotony. If not for Father's elixirs to quiet the mind, I think we would be no better than Aurelius and his I have spent, I don't know how long, in absolute stagnation. I would welcome a walk through oblivion over this banal familiarity. Don't tell me what's to come. I want to see it for myself.
How healthy you look. I barely remember. It was the only way. The choice was this long internment or a brief, horrid end. Our hope was to linger until we could be free of the disease. No, it was never meant to be this long. To see hope within our reach and have it denied, we couldn't endure it. He will be well cared for. He will not be reduced to the suffering we have. You have my word.
We must leave this curse.
Shore's Borns, this is the foulest of elf magics.
Gods, that was... I could feel my skin tightening as the stone drew the moisture out of... Right. I suppose I can keep up. I'll just lick the damp off the wall.
saviors. I've failed you. They've stolen our future. But I swear I'll rob them of theirs in kind.
Don't let him kill us!
I'm still here. Thanks for asking.
I can hardly believe it. You found Henrig and Mindaril, but where are the others? No, you've done more than anyone ever has for us. If anyone's to blame, it's us. We survive out here by sticking together. I can see. Tortured. Why? Gods. I'll heed curses more closely in the future. The locals were right to avoid this place.
If it weren't for you, I'd have wound up a husk like those monsters, withering in that pit for who knows how long. Even now, I still feel for them. What a miserable fate. I wish it could have been different. That Korgrad might have been redeemed. I'll stay with these people a while longer, if they'll have me. Best to stick together, and perhaps my standing will shield them from the intolerance my kind have for Nebarah. I don't know. Too often my kin seem content to forget ugliness exists in our society. If nothing else, someone will want to know about cave people harboring the Thrasi. My eyes still feel like they're covered in grit, but I think I'll be back to normal with a drink and a good night's sleep. The latter might be hard to come by until we are far from this place. My name may be all the means I can lend them. I doubt my parents will offer any support. Who knows if I'll even be welcome home when I return. I might be as much a vagabond as they when all is said and done. I'll...
You know, coral's just weird sack animal bones, right? So this is a bit like a cemetery, I guess. Ugh, you do not want to know what their ghosts look like. Old cheese. I'll leave it at that.
just tired of walking anyway.
Welcome back, Initiate. Have you done as I asked? Well done. Well done indeed. You already seem well versed in the cardinal virtues of our order. Speak with Josarja. She will want to know that the augur is safe, no doubt. Yes, I know all about its sudden disappearance. You did well in recovering it. I bade her give you something, your first step on the path.
Thank goodness you're back. I hope the augur... The most valuable gift. Knowledge. Please, use it carefully. When I learned my first spell, I accidentally banished a toad to the far ends of time. At least I think I did. It hasn't come back yet. Congratulations. First-rate work in Summerset. Really, first-rate. Unfortunately, our seers detected more of these time breaches, this time in the Iliac Bay region, my homeland. The Lore Master and I will keep searching for the cause of the disturbances. In the meantime, we need you to seal them. Yes, take this map of the region, more Psijic seals, and the augur. I hope the breaches haven't grown more powerful. Stay safe, and just make sure Alakir weathers this, all right? I know, I shouldn't... I have to state it. May the old way guide your steps. The Lore Master was very impressed by your work in Summerset. He's a hard... Well, not in the traditional sense. But don't get me wrong, I'm a very proficient mage. The Psijic Order isn't just a collection of wizards. It's a world view, you know? A state of mind. It's not enough. Some days I think I'm making progress. Then other days like today, I see how far I have to go. A true Psijic would see all people and regions as equals. But for me, part of me never left the Yes, I would never admit it to the Lore Master. But yes, I'm sorry.
I've heard of this place, the Vault of Moawita, but it shouldn't be empty. Something's very wrong.
We've collected.
Now that you're all set for the journey, feel free to ask me. Oh, most certainly.